I want you to hit me as hard as you can. What?
Welcome, everyone. Happy Monday. It's time for Versus. It's the second weekend of Superman, and how did the film do? We'll talk about it. Plus, big news from Kevin Feige and Marvel. We'll go over that. And James Gunn did his last interview on the press tour for Superman and dropped some bombshells. We will go over them. Plus your comments, questions, and our all-star panel. We have the Holy Trinity today. Yes, we do. Let's get things started. Let's go. Let's start the show. I know Alan is here. Alan, let's go. Hey, everyone. Look at this. It's the Fantastic Four. The Fantastic Four. Here we are, ready to go. And I'm excited you guys are here. There's a lot to discuss. And I have a treat. Well, you know what? I'm going to ruin it right now and show you the treat. Here it is. It's not me dressed as Mr. Fantastic. It's not that. That's not the treat. But that's a real shot from Dragon Con. It's this, the Pedro Pascal Mr. Fantastic sippy cup.
Oh,
which I think is a great. I love it.
I love that he's excited for you to drink from his cup.
That'd be bigger, kinda.
It's perfect for Pedro, honestly.
Oh my God. How did this get by people? This is insane.
In the popcorn bucket.
Delicious popcorn bucket with his sort of a big booty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the big booty, and it's I don't know. It's all this stuff is all crazy.
He wants to make sure that he's on everyone's lips, so this is the perfect way to do that.
Oh yes. Had you seen that one, Steph?
Which one?
The one I just showed.
Oh, yeah, I saw it floating around yesterday.
Oh my God. It's just someone is doing that on purpose. That Dune popcorn bucket was not an accident. It was not.
I hope they put that much thought into it. I think that might have just been a design slight.
Well, and finally you get to see Mr. Fantastic's powers in action.
Well, we have an amended panel. We have DA can't join us. Dante has personal business, so a smaller panel today, probably a shorter show, because Alan, you and I are going to see Fantastic Four tonight.
Oh,
we're
I don't know if you heard. I don't know if you heard. So I looked it up. So far, if I were to leave right now to Burbank, no traffic.
Why? There's theories about why traffic is so.
What happened?
Have you
what
heard
happened?
those
I think there's a million less people in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
They just decided to leave of their own accord. That's
Even
nice.
I think so.
Their own accord?
I think they self-left.
Oh.
Self-love.
He did ask them to.
Well, let's have our panelists that are here intro themselves.
Angry Badger, happy to be here. Just mildly perturbed Badger today, and let's get into it. Can't wait.
Yep.
Steph, my nerdy home. Looking forward to talking about Pedro Pascal for the next couple of weeks.
Why not Alan?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, this is the Pedro Pascal month. I think we've seen 3 movies this month or the last 4 weeks with Pedro Pascal in it. I'm excited.
Let's get ready to rumble.
You guys all saw Eddington, right? Everyone ran out, saw the COVID movie. Sure.
Eddington. Alan and I disagreed about it.
Yeah.
But I actually enjoyed it more. The more I think about it, I like that film a lot. A quick super chat here.
Press him to start for 2. My dudes, it's Comic Con week. It is.
We will see you there. And Badger, I don't know if we'll see you. And here we're gonna get
Axel Zabo, member for 11 months. Has Predator been changed slightly in the new trailer? Well, we'll watch it and let you.
We're gonna watch it and check
I'm
it
not
out.
gonna be able to make it to Comic Con, unfortunately, this time. But
what about the meetup?
Yeah, probably not gonna be able to make it to the meetup this time, unfortunately. But a year goes by so quickly. Grizzly Nightmare for $1.99. Chris, what'd you think about the Ben Cooper doc?
It's great.
I haven't seen it yet. I have it bookmarked, and I have seen the trailer. It looks great.
It's insane. I've seen it.
Yeah,
and,
I need to see it. Everyone's raving about it, but thank you, Grizzly Nightmare.
Yeah. And you could literally do a 12-hour documentary on the life of Ben Cooper.
Yeah, it just the trailer alone makes it look crazy. But quick reminder before we get into our topics, go to shop.filmthread.com. Our summer collection is here. Funeral for a Franchise, back for a limited time. And then we have our Comic-Con season collection. That's right. You can get the shirt I'm wearing now, the Fantastic Four First Steps inspired Film Thread shirt. We have a Superman inspired Batman, all kinds of nerdy t-shirts. So get them at shop.filmthread.com. We appreciate your support. Okay, let's talk box office.
Yes.
The second weekend for Superman is here.
I hate StreamYard. What button is it? Okay, I got it.
Thanks. Dude, everyone's having problems with
They changed the way it looks, so yeah, it's
I know.
There we go. Alan, what are we looking at?
I'm sorry. Whoops. I get it.
Kids get the kid table.
Here we go. All right, here we go. Got it. Superman comes in number 1 again with only a 53% drop at 58 million. Jurassic World Rebirth. Sorry, I'm not speaking well. 23 million, a 41% drop. Not bad. I Know What You Did Last Summer, something that Chris saw, only made 12 million. Smurfs, which I saw yesterday, also made 11 million.
So we're good. We're finally gonna get the Smurfs review. You promised me.
Oh my gosh.
I hear the movie is god awful.
Yeah.
It is.
So do I.
It is a kids movie. F1, the movie, comes in just under 10. How to Train Your Dragon. Let's see where they're at box office wise. They're at almost 600 million global altogether. Eddington, which we saw 4.2 million. Elio just hanging in there. Lilo and Stitch is the big news. Is our first $1 billion movie of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
At $1.008 billion.
Wow.
Yeah. Let's see. Then we got 28 years later, Mission Impossible, Mithrigan, and The Materialists.
Another Pedro movie that Chris liked.
I liked
pattern here.
Oh my god!
Watch it.
It helps that he only, like Eddington, only appears in maybe 15 minutes of the movie.
Oh, thought he was in a lot more of it.
Yeah,
All
and he fought.
And then we've got let's see, Eddington. No one really expected that to do well. It's an A24 movie. 28 years later rounds out the top 10. Superman, a 53% drop. That's better than 60 or 70.
Yeah, that's not a normal drop.
Let's look at the total take for Superman now. I believe it did cross 400 million global. The international is underperforming.
Yeah, let's see.
Any idea as to why that is?
The theories I've heard are Superman, even though in this movie it's not that way, Superman is still linked with America. America's not popular for different reasons around the world. That's one. The other one is just basic superhero fatigue.
Mm-hmm.
Pick your poison.
Yeah, I've heard all of those reasons as well.
Yeah, it's
interesting that it's not performing like they thought it would. They really thought it would resonate with people around the world, which is why they there's really no type of like American imagery in it. Like there's no flag, nothing like that. And it's also about humanity, not the American way as well. So they changed it so it resonate with people around the world, and it's not resonating with everybody around the world. So
Yeah. Well, like I said, what's going to happen when Fantastic Four beats Superman opening weekend?
You actually think it will?
I don't think it will. It's
I
not.
don't think
It's
it
not
will.
tracking.
Yeah.
I don't think it will.
I mean, part of me feels like it'll get a bigger international box office than Superman will.
Maybe, because Superman just had like, okay, everyone knew it was a DC reset, right? And so there's at least something, and people liked James from Guardian stuff. But with Marvel, it's like it's Marvel fatigue. It's all the normal stuff plus Pedro is just in everything.
Yeah, I mean, the weird
no
thing about
chemistry.
Disney is that international consistently outperforms domestic when it comes to Disney, and I think that's been true for the Thunderbolts and the other ones. I don't think the rest of the world is as hung up on these characters as we are, or hung up on Marvel. I think, to them it's just a generic superhero film, while to us it's just another bad Marvel movie.
Awesome.
Yeah. Sorry, folks. I'm having technical issues here, but
Project Arrow. They do have a Chinese Superman though, like in the DCU continuity. So James, get on it. It's time to court China. Make $1 billion.
I know. They should have a Russian one.
They do. Get Superman Red Sun. Yeah.
So how do we think Superman will end up? Will it cross 700 million? Get to 750? It's now at 400 after 2 weeks, 2 weekends. So what are we thinking it lands about? At this point, I think when we can it's not making $1 billion. It's not $1 billion movie. I don't think so. But where does it land?
I think it'll limp to 700. And actually, it doesn't really matter, remember, because James Gunn says that the movie doesn't need to make 700 in order to be successful. So, I mean, the box office doesn't matter according to James Gunn. But I think it will end up at around 700.
Well, I mean, let's put it this way. With the year that Warner Brothers has had, Superman can lose $100 million and it'll do nothing to the bottom line.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bet I have is for it, if it hits 700 million, I said it would hit 700 million or higher. I would hope not to lose that, but I don't know, from the articles in Variety and all that, it appears like he was kind of right in the sense that he's launching a universe. So it's kind of the opposite of Snyder. Snyder's movies made money, but they did not critically get everyone happy and talking about it and excited because they're very polarizing. Yeah. This is the opposite. It's getting all the critical buzz and blowies and all that. It's so for them that's good, but it's not going to make nearly the same money. But he's launching the universe, so apparently with Warner Brothers, it's good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we've got a new trailer for. Oh my God, let me start this over, folks. There's a new trailer for Predator Badlands.
Ooh.
We've got a lot of Superman and FF news, but let's get this out of the way here. The trailer for this movie. Now, the first trailer was met with a little skepticism. I mean, it was kind of like what the Predator looked like. Kind of weird. Well, now we get, I've seen it. I don't want to prejudge. I've seen this. I have thoughts. Should we take a look?
Oh, gee.
Let's start this. You ready?
Utani. Okay.
Here we go. Here we go.
So this is your first hunt. And you've come to the most dangerous planet in the universe. You're after a creature that can't be killed. The definitive apex predator. I help you. Well, good luck with your journey. Here, you're not the predator. You're the prey. We might not be alone in this hunt.
Get away from me, you bitch. Yeah. See
I don't know what to think. First, I think that Predator looks weird. We're seeing it from that POV. He's a robot that is schooling him and mentoring him.
So this is Aliens mixed with Predator because that's a Wayland Yutani like
right.
So
They
we're
cross
fully
those-
scissored together now.
Yeah.
Why'd you
Can,
not
can we
speak?
just have a Predator movie?
Oh, Alan, can we just have a Blade that has a leather trench coat and kills vampires?
No, we're
we
not. We're
can't-
not getting
Can't
that.
have nice
Right.
things.
We can't just have the things we want. Oh, why'd they have it speak?
I know. That
Yeah.
took
It's
me
not
out
that-
of it when they had it
It's not
speak.
that the Yajunta
I mean-
don't have language, that they do. I hear Niat from Film Comics Explain having a seizure now that they're going to have to come up with a linguistic language and explain it.
I mean, you remember how complicated the Predator, the practical Predator was in the original movies, and for some reason now that we have CG, they made it much more simpler. It's just a guy with a Predator head, with a Gen Z Predator head.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You
It's
know,
Predator for a modern generation, so I hope they enjoy it.
yeah. Hey, young people, hope you love it.
The
Yeah,
humor seemed very misplaced. I wasn't expecting that. The first trailer didn't have that tone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's definitely more humorous. And then you've got the Chewbacca C-3PO thing from Empire Strikes Back for part of the movie, right?
You put
Right?
me on backwards. Yeah.
And I don't like the fact that it's taking place in broad daylight. You lose something in horror.
Predator's
in the
POV is
daytime.
cool. It's just the
Well,
comedy took me out. And then he
if they
spoke,
did it
and I was
right.
just like, wait, what?
Yeah. If they did it right, it would be cool. I mean, it's a good idea, but it doesn't look like they're executing it well.
No.
You can tell they're setting up that shared universe they keep wanting instead of just focusing on like a young Predator going on his first big hunt.
Well, now Alien, Blade Runner, Predator all take place in one universe. All those,
if you want to go that right, Soldier then
franchises.
with Kurt Russell also takes place in that universe too.
yes. I mean, I don't know. I didn't really feel anything from it. It seemed very, by
It's
the
not a
numbers.
Predator movie. That's I
seems-
mean, you think about the Predator movies of the past, it looks nothing like this.
Mm-mm.
Well, the problem is there's a bunch of different clans of those predators, the Yachua and all that. And so they can it's one of those, it's comic accurate. It's like, well, yeah, pick which comic and then you can say it's accurate. Pick which Alien versus Predator comic. But yeah, we just wanted
Yeah. Well, unlike
scary mystique.
I mean, like the filmmakers, no one's read the comic books. So no one cares.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my God. Well, obviously we'll see it. We'll talk about it, but
Yeah.
I'm unconvinced. To be fair.
I was kind of excited at the first trailer, and this one actively regressed my excitement for it based on that.
Right?
Yeah.
The first trailer looked really good, but I was just like, what is this?
Yeah.
Hey,
Took me out.
we've
Hopefully
got-
Alien Earth will be better.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
we'll see. Hey, we have a lot of Superman related news. James Gunn ended his press tour. Did a ton of press all over the world the weekend after Superman opened. He did an interview with Josh Horowitz for the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast. And we're not going to watch the whole thing. It's 50 minutes plus. We have a couple clips to show and discuss. He reveals a lot, including thoughts on Jor-El and Superman's parents. And in this clip here, he talks about letting Henry Cavill go. Ready to we'll watch.
You mean fire Henry Cavill?
Yes. Yeah. Well, truthfully,
He was never hired.
Well, let's watch, hear from his point of view how that went down. I have a theory. There's some things he doesn't say. He's very diplomatic in this.
Mm-hmm.
There's some things he doesn't say. You can read between the lines. Let's watch this.
Then jumping ahead, I just want to get my timeline down right, because I was somewhat in the middle of this in a weird way, because I talked to Henry Cavill in the middle of when Black Adam's coming out.
Oh, good God.
Yeah. And we love Henry, of course. And
yes,
like,
he's the sweetest guy.
Sweet guy. Love him. And he has the cameo at the end. We had a big moment on stage where he thought he was coming back. We all thought he was coming back, but maybe unbeknownst to him or not, you're already writing a Superman movie, which is clearly for a younger actor. Then soon thereafter, you get the gig as the head of DCU, correct? I have this roughly right?
Yeah, that's right. Yes, correct.
So then at a certain point, you and Peter have to have that unfortunate phone call, I would imagine.
No, we sat down
Henry.
with him. We sat down with Henry.
So without revealing too much, I mean, what is that like to have to be the guy to tell Superman, thank you for your time, we have to go a different way now?
It's terrible.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but believe it or not, I was the day so we were dealing with trying to figure out if we could take the job at DC Studios.
Yeah.
And we're talking to David Zaslav and all the legal people there and figuring out what our deals would be. And the day our deal closed, all of a sudden they were announcing that, that Henry was back. And I'm like, what is going on? We know what the plan is. Like we know what the plan is. The plan was to come in and do Superman.
Yeah.
So it was really unfair to him, and it was a total bummer. But there was a vacuum at the time, and a lot of people were trying to be as
diplomatic as possible. There were other people that had to take on what they wanted to do with it.
They wanted to take on what they wanted to do with DC, and were trying to force their way, and it just was never a part of the equation for David Zaslav, who was the head of WBD. So, so we came in, and that was really unfortunate. I'm like, this poor guy. And so Peter and I, the right thing to do is to sit down with him and talk to him. Yeah. And we sat down and we talked to him. He was an absolute gentleman, a great guy about it. He said, the only thing I ask is that I'm able to reveal it myself, as opposed to it coming from you guys. And I'm like, that's
he's a class act. Always has been from the start. Yeah. Would it be too confusing to cast him in your DC universe going?
No. See, here I have a theory here. It was Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson that pushed for this. And he overstepped his bounds. He was setting up a Black Adam versus Superman movie, or whatever, or maybe insinuate himself in another Superman movie. Who knows? And Gunn is being very diplomatic. He doesn't want to call people out. Mm-hmm. Guess who's not involved in the new DCU going forward? Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Yeah.
And he was fine as Black Adam. He was fine. There were other characters in that movie that were better than Black Adam, but he's being very coy about that. And I think really maybe The Rock was trying to take over in a way.
He was. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the situation was that like Walter Hamada wanted to sort of reset the DCEU with the Flash movie, which is why he brought in Supergirl. And he didn't want Superman. Like he was trying to just reset it and find some sort of like continuity from the Flash movie moving forward. But The Rock went to Walter Hamada and wanted Henry Cavill as Superman. He wanted to fight Superman. He wanted to be the new face of the DCEU. And Walter Hamada told him no. So he went over his head to the execs at Warner Brothers, and they were like, yeah, sure, go ahead. And that's why Henry Cavill came back.
Do you know why he told him no?
Superman.
No. Henry was supposed to be at the end of Shazam, the one they ended up shooting with that stunt double. Henry wanted it to count towards his allotted movies and be paid accordingly. And when they said, no, you're just going to do this extra, he said, no, I'm not. And at that moment, he was persona non grata at Warner Brothers, and the Walter Hamada regime took over. Snyder didn't destroy the DC. Walter Hamada did by not having chain of continuity of any story or anything like that. So he wanted to replace Batgirl. You know, Batman would be Batgirl. Wonder Woman would stay the same. Just what Steph was saying. Yeah. And it wasn't until Rock came over with all his clout that he had that tried to force Henry back in. And the thing is, he won. He got him back. And they announced his return. And I know, shout out to Tom Connors and Elaine. They all have been saying this, that he was never hired and that Gunn, blah, 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 blah. But man, it gets fuzzy with dates. That's why he says, believe it or not. There's a lot of people that go, nah, I don't believe you. This was announced before and you knew it and you still went forward. But
I do believe Gunn.
I think once the Batgirl movie like got shelved and everything, that's when Walter Amato stepped down because his whole plan was like ruined to sort of reset
was
everything.
In charge, right, at that point.
But
Saffron.
I do believe Gunn because here he's like he's not in a position of power yet. He'd just been hired, right?
Just signed the contract.
Deal was worked out. Just been
he was
hired
already doing Creature Commandos. He says he was already set for Peacemaker, and they were already talking before he was even put in charge. So
yeah, the issue was being put in charge. Yeah.
This is different factions within the company interfighting. That's what this is.
It's the right hand not knowing what the left hand is doing.
Right, right. There's more in this interview that it's worth watching a little bit more of this. Here we go.
Oh, is another character?
Yeah,
absolutely not. Yeah, no, I talked to him about it on that day. So yeah, no, I would love to put Henry in something. Yeah.
So there you go. I don't know. It's sad when this kind of thing happens.
But everyone's saying Zod and Ultraman. Bro, no one wants to see David beat up Henry Cavill at the end because Henry's a bad guy. Put him as Batman so we can all laugh.
Yeah. Now, more importantly, James Gunn addressed the Jor-El message. And this has been the biggest controversy from Superman. I'm going to share this clip
for
here
certain people.
Yes,
for certain people that had such denial that they had to make their own headcanon and now have been told three different ways.
I know.
The coping is strong in this one.
It's a lot of FU. I was right. Shout out Razorfist. Wish they just listened to us.
We've got look, this is a spoiler. A lot of people know about it. It's been discussed. Let's hear it direct from Gunn, and then we'll talk about it on the other side.
Is that the actual
how
message?
Can someone not think it's real?
I'm saying,
how can someone? I don't understand. Like we did this, so in the test screens, people were like, "Is it real?" You know, with AI, nobody trusts anything. Okay, in the movie,
you make a point of saying Mr. Terrific says it's real.
Mr. Terrific says, "I know those computer forensics guys. There's no way." That's Mr. Terrific, smart as Lex Luthor. Then I have Maury, the Secretary of Defense, say, "I think whatever you think about Luthor, but it's real." And then the clincher is that Gurkos and Lex are walking together.
Right.
And, Gurkos says, you doctored a message. This is great. And Lex says, it's not a message. It's not doctored. Right. It's real. And who thought his own parents would be the ones to bring him down?
Okay. We just clarified, just for the record. I just want to get it down. Are there implications for this going forward, or have you dealt with this?
This is the important point. Are there implications for this going forward? This changes the character of Superman. And I am not a fan of this change. We've discussed it. We argued about it last week. So,
to quote Tom Connor, that's what I said last week. He
says that every week. But let's see what he has to say here.
I mean, do you imagine this being dealt with in future Superman stories?
I mean, honestly, I think he deals with it in this story pretty much. I mean, I think that this story at the heart of it is a story about a guy who's doing things he thinks for reasons outside of himself.
Yeah.
Comes to realize through the love of a parental figure, his father and mother, that he is not doing things because of someone outside himself. He's doing things because of that's what he believes. It's not an outside force telling him what to do or what to think. He's doing it. It's not destiny.
Right.
It's his own choice.
There are also echoes of Star-Lord, Ego, Yondu in this kind of like trio. Has that
Polite way of saying you
I mean, in
stole it.
terms of like the dad that's the birth father
Oh yeah.
that betrays you, that isn't who you think.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
The adoptive father who really
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
the moral compass.
Yeah. I don't know. So I have a lot of adopted kids in my family.
Yeah.
My best friend is adopted. A few of my best friends are adopted. I don't know why it is that those themes speak to me, but they do.
So we've talked a little bit about some changes in the process of test screening, et cetera. You thank, I believe, Drew Goddard, who you've mentioned, Damon Lindelof.
Yeah.
Any specific notes from those two gentlemen?
Drew was a really helpful one. So we had 3 or 4 things that were, heatedly debated throughout this movie.
I think that's the end of the Jor-El.
Yeah, the end of the Jor-El thing. But
There's some in the notes, and he just did another interview where he triple down whatever it is and says it again, where it's not getting changed, guys.
No,
I know.
He said, I think he did a Rolling Stone interview, where he was asked if he'll retcon it or if there's a chance it'll retcon it. He's like, fans are shit out of luck because he's not going to change it.
Well, what do we think of this now? This is direct from him. And also I've heard other pitches for how this could be retconned in a way that maybe the message is real, but Zod is the one who messed with it. And
no, that's all fan coping.
That's called cope.
It is fan coping, but what I'm saying is a lot of people are fan coping. That tells me people don't like the change.
Oh, they don't, but that's the point. James Gunn doesn't give a shit if you like it or not. That's literally what the article is. That wasn't Steph being cute. He literally said fans are shit out of luck if they don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
And that was to my point. That was to my point last week was I just don't remember Jor-El being that influential of a character in the Superman movies. Again, didn't read the comic books. And so, he appears in quick cameos in the other movies until he's gone altogether in Superman 4. And to me, it was exactly what James Gunn was saying. It's an adoption story, where Superman's values come from the parents who raised him, as opposed to his biological parents. I'll give you an example. My daughter is adopted. Her parents her parents were high school sophomores. And I remember the day that my daughter's birthday, her sophomore year, I told her right out, you are now older than your mother when she gave birth to you. And to me, that's the issue there is, we've given you these values. We've given you these, how to so far how to be a person in this world. And those are her values. And that whatever her parents did or were, they have influence on her, but very little influence compared to the influence I had on her as a parent.
But was she
you're
the
like
sole survivor of another planet? Because this is the point: is he is literally the legacy of the Kryptonian people. His parents wanted him to be a human first, so we could understand, and then carry on the best traditions, so that Krypton would live on through him. And it's just, it would be the equivalent of Peter Parker misunderstanding what Uncle Ben said. And like, oh, I'm only a good Spider-Man because my uncle told me with great power, but he was really telling me get bitches. And
we understand the influence Uncle Ben had, because Uncle Ben had direct influence on raising Peter Parker versus Jor-El. Jor-El is the vision that blew up a long time ago before Superman could even form memories.
Again, it depends on your comic, at what comic you're looking to. Some of them he had quite a lot of influence.
From my movie knowledge of Superman.
Well, that would be
I'll
the
just say this.
version.
You know what this makes you, Alan? The Asian Pa Kent. This makes you Asian Pa Kent.
Yeah,
it's perfect.
In the 78 version, he spent 12
all the time my daughter does something.
12 years with Jor-El. He's a huge influence on him. He's raised as a boy by the Kents, and he's turned into a Superman by Jor-El, and it's the fusion of the two. I just don't like the change. A lot of people don't like the change. Just not going to headcanon it.
I don't like the change at all.
Yeah, but the thing is, you could tell Superman stories down the road, even with an evil Jor-El. That changes nothing of the future of Superman or who Superman is.
I think James Gunn wanted Superman to be relatable to people, and so that's why it's more of like a humanity story. It's more about him as a human as opposed to as a Kryptonian, and that's why he made the change. He said that he wanted it to be He's not doing it because it's his destiny that was placed upon him by his Kryptonian parents, that he wants to be good and do these things because he wants to do it.
And the fact that
not because of some sort of influence, which is fine, but I mean, it doesn't really change Superman's character in the movie. You know, he's already doing good, but now he's doing good at the end of the movie because he wants to do good, but you don't really do it because you don't want to do it.
I mean, and that's my point. That's my point, is that revelation does nothing to the character of Superman. Superman is Superman. You know, you're not changing any canon. You know, Superman is not fundamentally a different person.
There's no such thing as canon, as pointed out.
But I'm saying there's what we understand and know of Superman, and why I hate Man of Steel is that, you know, regardless of good or evil Jor-El, Superman is this character. You know, he is fundamentally Superman. It makes no difference.
We've got a lot more Superman related stories. We'll get to all your chat comments and questions related to Superman when we hit these stories. Got about 3 or 4 more left here. More from this interview.
Oh,
James Gunn.
Did you see? Sorry, before you move on, did you see that he's not going to use Supergirl to retcon it either?
Yep.
Yeah. Heard that. So, let's.
I think that some people were hoping it would get solved in Supergirl, and that's not going to happen because he addressed that as well.
He unironically gave the Robert Meyer explanation. Jor-El just sees us as sea turtles.
Yeah.
Not evil, just thinks he's better.
All right. Well, let's take a look at this. There's a lot here to talk about.
I believe Drew Goddard, who you've mentioned, Damon Lindelof.
Yeah.
Any specific notes from those 2 gentlemen?
Drew was a really helpful one. So we had 3 or 4 things that were, you know, heatedly debated throughout this movie.
Well, now's the time.
Okay, saving the squirrel.
Okay.
Heatedly debated.
Just too much? Too silly?
Too much. Like some audience members didn't. Why is he saving a squirrel? Like, because it's a cute little adorable squirrel that was about to be crushed by a tail.
Those are so.
You only save cute things.
Come on. It wasn't a small amount of people.
Okay, so he's really going through. I first of all, I like, but what? Anyways, all right, we'll get to it.
A lot of squirrel haters out there.
Who knew?
And this is in Los Angeles. Like Michael Rooker, he eats squirrels. He does.
Of course.
He does. He hunts and eats squirrels. Like that's for real. That's not a joke. The squirrel was a huge debate. Another debate was, and this was probably the biggest. There was 2 biggest ones. The other debate was Guy Gardner didn't call him a wuss in the first cut. He called him something else.
The P word, I assume.
Yes.
Okay.
And
Guy Gardner calls Superman a pussy.
He said, "Don't be a pussy."
Confirmed.
Or is it a pussy?
He says, "Don't be a pussy."
Don't be a pussy. Don't be a wuss. Okay, here we go.
Got an enormous laugh. An enormous laugh. Because he said, don't be such a, and then Clark goes, and this is what was cut. Clark goes, "Hey, there are kids here." And then Guy goes, "I said don't be." And then he walks away. And so that was a big debate, whether we're going to keep that word in. And there were a couple of other little things, but the other big one was, does Jimmy smile at the end when Eve hugs him?
Oh, interesting.
That's the biggest.
Okay.
I think that one in the P word. So it's like, so he, at the end, Jimmy, we had different versions of Eve, and I got him on purpose. So Eve hugs Jimmy, and in one version, he just smiles. And another version, he just stares out into the dark void. That goes on forever.
Relatable.
Yeah.
I mean, I like it.
And then the third version, he kind of like looks,
accepts his fate,
and then he gives into it and smiles because she did save the day. She is the unsung hero of the movie.
Absolutely. Selfies saved the day.
Selfies saved the day. So, so there were 3 different versions. I will admit, although I was pro Skrull, I was pro Void.
Fair enough.
Peter Safran was very pro smile, and we argued about this, although it wasn't as heated as the P word arguments.
What about? I also heard that maybe Lex's actions were a little bit darker. That he went even further. He kills a guy point blank. But like, did you have to tone back a little bit of Lex's behavior?
Okay, yeah. Well, there's a really dark thing in there. There was a really dark thing, but it was never a big.
Did you want to listen to this?
Once I saw the movie, I'm like,
What's that?
I mean, he just goes into the Lex story, and that's pretty much the end of the discussion. Did you want to?
Yeah. Well, let's discuss this.
Yeah.
I don't mind the squirrel thing. I'll be real. I thought it was endearing. I didn't mind it.
I thought the squirrel thing was endearing. It was goofy and ridiculous. In the end, was like, oh, he goes so far. So it's sort of the version of saving the cat out of the tree in the original Superman. It's a take on that.
Yeah, but why didn't he save the ants? Why didn't he say?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's whenever I see a scene like that, it's like, I'm very pro people. You save the people.
Right.
But then when you get into squirrels, he saved the squirrel, but not the ants, not the puppies, he saved one
saved a dog.
animal.
He did save a dog.
Well, he blew the
saved
dog.
everyone.
He saved everyone
But
within
Alan-
the vicinity, everyone that he could.
What
The
was
point of that scene
Alan?
ultimately, say that again so we can get a nice clean cut of it.
Chris,
The point of the kaiju scene, besides just showing that Lex is distracting Superman from realizing his fortress is being breached, is to show that the Justice Gang doesn't care about collateral damage, and every single person that Superman saved in that scene would have been killed by collateral damage because of Justice Gang's methods. Okay, that's great. It's just, I think it's funny that like in the whole thing, it feels so disjointed, and there's a whole bunch, at least 30 minutes of missing scenes, but the squirrel is what we're arguing about. Like, I don't know. Priorities. Glad we got him saving a squirrel. Okay. Snyder people. Sorry. He saved everyone.
Yeah,
Yes,
you're muted.
Chris. I agree with Chris. You're muted. Sorry.
Chris, you're making a great point.
Let's get into the next topic here from this the next Superman project. What will it be? I think we can assume Superman is in Supergirl. Probably with the same amount that Supergirl
Kissing
is in
cousins. Oh, they're in
Superman.
the same movie. Right.
Yeah, he will make an appearance. One can guess. I mean, for all I know, Superman may end up in a scene in Peacemaker.
I think he got hinted at being in Peacemaker.
Yeah.
But let's take a look at this where he addresses the next Superman project.
Story.
yes,
Fair enough to say.
totally fair enough to say.
You have been cagey though in saying it's
I'm
not
being very cagey.
not exactly a Superman sequel per se. Here's what from the fan perspective, one of the regrets around post Man of Steel was we never got like another Superman adventure.
Yes.
Right? Henry didn't get his shot at another Superman movie.
Yes. Yeah.
So make me feel better. Like
It's Superman's very important. It's not like, and it isn't Batman versus Superman. It isn't.
okay, it's not world's finest Batman, Superman. Okay. This is getting touchy territory.
He kind of paused there about
he's
World's
not saying
Finest.
He's thinking, how do I answer this without giving
It's
it?
not.
Without,
It's not Batman versus Superman.
Right.
Team
I
up.
think it's some take on World's Finest.
Do you
So
think it'd
what would
ballsy
that
to
be?
do it
Not
again?
knowing what World's Finest is.
You don't know. It's just Batman and Superman teaming up. If you want to see the best version of it, go on HBO Max to the second season of Superman the Animated Series, and there's a 3-part, 20-minute episodes where Joker and Lex Luthor team up, and Batman goes to Metropolis hunting the Joker, and it's in an hour. They do what they will probably fail to do in 2 hours.
So Superman 2 is Superman and Batman instead of Superman versus Batman.
Well, we'll see.
Realize
There's
he's
a little-
doing what Snyder did.
There's a little
It's
bit
not-
more here.
It's not BVS, it's B ampersand S.
Yes.
Yeah. So okay, here we go.
Sorry. This is intended to be the next one you direct. Is there a timeline and when you
Yes.
think we might hear about this?
Yes.
Sooner than later?
Yes.
Like this week?
Okay.
No. Can we? I like interviews where I just say yes or no.
You're enjoying
I'm going to do that. The next press tour, I'm just going to be okay. Everybody, only yes or no questions. It'll be so much less
Can you
stressful.
pause for a second?
Well, that's pretty much it on that topic.
This is, I mean, I don't know if we're going to go through all the others.
See, there it is.
Sit down.
World's
This is what
Finest.
you need to do.
But DC's doing a panel at Comic-Con, right?
Are they?
James Gunn is doing a panel at San Diego Comic-Con.
In Hall H.
It's on Saturday in Hall H, and he's being interviewed again by Josh Horowitz.
Okay.
Oh.
Do you think people might be showing up at this interview?
I think we will get a glimpse of Supergirl. We will see a Supergirl promo. They're already kind of ruining Comic-Con.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
we'll
because
get to it later. Wait,
yeah.
Kevin Feige did an interview where he announced a bunch of stuff. He might as well have done that. He should have waited and done that at Comic-Con. What's he doing? And we'll get to that Feige story in a minute.
Right. But it sounds like he's revealing a lot of what's going to happen at Hall H. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me.
And then the Avatar Fire and Ash trailer drops on Wednesday. And we're seeing it tonight.
Yeah, we're seeing it tonight.
We're seeing it tonight. Whatever. I'm just saying that they're kind of pivoting from waiting for Comic-Con and Hall H. They're just announcing it with very
but
little fanfare.
my point is, I think DC's doing what Marvel did last year. DC's
correct.
And I don't know if you're going to play it, but I think I wouldn't be surprised if Jason Momoa shows up tomorrow or
this weekend.
Oh, probably
this weekend.
Hey,
there are more DCU updates from this interview. We're scrubbing through, giving you the highlights. I encourage you, listen to the whole thing. It's a
good interview, actually.
It's a good interview. I think it's a good interview. I think it's the best. It's like James Gunn being honest. I think he trusts Josh too.
Yeah.
Here. But there have been some truly ridiculous things, promos for this movie, the TikTok stuff and all the, arm wrestling. But this is very good. Here we go, right here.
And don't leave out Peacemaker 2. We're going to be talking about that in about a week. I'm very excited about
Peacemaker 2 is a direct follow-up to Superman.
Oh, he just confirmed it for Hall H.
Rick Flag's in it, Hawk Girl, Maxwell Lord, Guy Gardner. So it's the direct follow-up to Superman,
and
but very R-rated.
I can't wait.
Take your kids.
I'm going to see not only Lobo but Crypto and Supergirl.
Lobo is so freaking awesome. Jason Momoa is so. Oh my God! Yeah,
we've all agreed this was the easiest casting ever.
It was. Well, he pushed himself on me too. I gotta say, but Lobo is great, and then and that's great, and then we have Lanterns coming out, which is great. We have Clayface, which is about to go into production.
Cast your Clayface. You have James Watkins directing. This is going to be
Flanagan script. Yep.
And you've said the script is what sold you. It's always going to sell you.
Yeah.
This is
a total horror movie. Really, it's it could be a Blumhouse, big budget horror film, and it's within the DCU, which I think is a cool thing to do.
Let me just run down a few others. You tell me as much as you want or not. So, are we anywhere on a Wonder Woman script?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You feel like
so? Okay, he's going through everything here. We got Clayface. I don't know how I feel about that. Why do you put Clayface in your DC universe and no Batman?
Because here's how you do it. No, it makes sense. It makes sense in this way. The Clayface movie should not cost you more than $50 million.
Well, that's right.
Well,
yes.
Yeah, but I feel like it's the same way I feel about all of the Spider-Man Rogues Gallery, Morbius, Venom, all of them getting their own movies without Spider-Man. That's how I feel about Clayface.
But again,
Batman not being included.
Those movies didn't get your traditional superhero budget. And that's what I'm saying is you could do these small ones without having done a Batman one, because the Batman one is going to cost you $200 million. Lobo should not cost you even $100 million. And that allows you to make these kind of movies as long as you budget accordingly.
This wasn't supposed to be in the DCU. This was an Elseworlds movie with Matt Reeves. And James said, I put it in the DCU because we needed DCU content. And the script was good.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I mean, if you have a good script, why not make that movie?
Supergirl is being written by Anna Noriega because Norgetta or whatever, because it was apparently her script was amazing. It's so amazing they gave her Teen Titans. And that is apparently so amazing that James Gunn just confirmed today. She's also writing the Wonder Woman script.
Yeah, she's writing Wonder Woman.
So now she's written 3 of the movies.
Yes, and isn't she just she wrote 3 plays and a couple episodes of TV? She's not
Right.
even.
They must be amazing.
But see,
They must be
what makes
amazing.
that different than Marvel is James Gunn demands a finished script before even going into pre-production.
Yes.
And look,
Okay.
she's writing a script. Yeah, and if it's a damn good script, they'll make a movie out of it. That's how it's supposed to work in Hollywood. Maybe she's actually a good writer. I don't know who this person is.
I sure hope
Don't
so.
know their work, but the philosophy when it comes to Hollywood should always be: give me a great script and I'll make your movie. And if that's what she delivers, then by all means make her movie.
Okay,
I feel like inexperienced screenwriters end up writing like really bad movies, and I feel like I've like sorry,
so good.
a couple of movies, and I can't recall what they were, but they weren't very good, and they came from like inexperienced screenwriters, and that's like kind of like a warning sign for me. Like, wow, she's like a playwright. She wrote 2 plays, and she's a TV writer. She's been in more as an actress than she's written.
Yeah.
Oh,
but that's the thing is the mistake would be if she turns in a bad script to make the movie anyways. And that's and from my understanding of Matt Reeves has finally turned in a script for Batman. Look, they have to be, not only do you have to produce a script before you make the movie, you have to produce a good script. There should be no promises saying that we're going to make your script. We're going to make your movie no matter how bad your script is. That's the second level of stupidity if that's what they do.
With the DCU, they could all be 10s. We need Batman and Wonder Woman and Superman. Trinity.
Clayface could be a 7.
Let's get through the rest of this. He goes through what projects are on the docket here. Let's go.
Like there's a take, there's a direction.
Yes.
That feels distinct from what we've seen before.
Yeah, very. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I'm very, very excited about Wonder Woman right now.
Do you anticipate seeing something like a new Flash, a new Aquaman in the next few years, or is that a little ways off?
I wouldn't say the next 2 years for either of those characters.
Okay. The Authority still on your mind?
Yeah, but that's been a rough road.
A slower one.
Yeah,
just harder to crack, harder to.
Yeah, the writer moved on to another project in the DCU that I think he's really killing right now. So,
yeah, freeze on that one. That's my point. The Authority script wasn't good, and they moved on.
Right, but they've already introduced an Authority character, but you don't know.
So what? They're not making an Authority movie.
Right, but he announced it.
Well, okay, and then you can look. He could pull a Kathleen Kennedy and unannounce it.
Right.
These things can be announced and unannounced. When they finally make the movie, that's when your money's on the table. That's when everything has to come to fruition. All these promises you make. But the fact that there was an Authority script and that they didn't like it, they couldn't fix it, and then they moved on, says a whole lot about the decision making that's going on at DC versus the decision making going on at Marvel. The Marvel script never should have gone beyond the script, but they were committed to making it, and so they had to make it. And that's been Marvel's problem this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Let's watch the rest of this here. Just the rest of the things he addresses.
And that project would be
another movie
that we haven't talked about.
There's a lot of untitled movies.
Swamp Thing. Has Mangold delivered a script?
We talked to James the other day. So no, he hasn't delivered a script. It's he's been distracted with his billions of movies.
Yes,
but I think we're talking about it again. So,
and Sergeant Rock seemed like it was very close. Mm-hmm. Do you still have hopes that it's going to come back around relatively soon?
Hugely.
Okay.
I'm really excited about Sergeant.
And with Luca still involved?
No.
Okay. Is there one filmmaker, if you had your druthers, if you could lure anybody into the DCU, who would you grab? Make your pitch.
Matt Reeves.
You already got him. Into the DCU.
He's not in the DCU.
Have you talked to him? You must have talked to him about it.
Yeah. No, I mean Matt to me, listen, Matt, I love the people that are out there making pop movies that are still, it's Matt Reeves, it's Greta Gerwig, it's Ryan Coogler,
it's their vision,
it's the guys that and I'm friendly with all those people, and they're making big movies that still have themselves in it.
Yeah, they're personal, yet they resonate with everybody.
And so I love people that are taking risks in the area of spectacle film, because most of the stuff out there is not a risk. It's just,
it's disposable. Yeah.
I love disposable stuff.
Yeah.
But let's make it good disposable.
Okay, fair enough.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I love big popcorn movies, but it's just like it gets to be, boring when they're all the same.
Okay, I'll end with this. What's the barometer of success when we talk in 5 years or 10 years, and you're presumably still at DC? I mean, is it about?
I want to hear his response to this. Okay, hang on.
Who you've introduced, what you've done, like what you've led to. I mean, how are you gauging your own success?
James, what is your relationship with your wife like now that she's forgiven you for disappearing for 3 years?
Yeah.
I mean, it's really, it is the barometer of success is for me, am I enjoying myself creatively? And I have enjoyed myself creatively over the past 3 years, but it's just been too much. I've done too much, which is like, it needed to be done. This is a kickstarting this whole enterprise. So I needed to do too much, but it was too much. And I need to balance out my life with my work. And then hopefully that will make my work even better.
Right.
And I'm not stupid enough to say, oh, if I love the movie, then it's a success, because it's not.
It's not that easy. Yeah.
But what I think of the movie itself isn't really the most important thing. What I think of the process of making the movie, now that belongs to me.
Jesus Christ!
The movie isn't mine. The movie belongs to everybody.
I know.
Sorry, go ahead, Badger.
He's never answered the question. What is the barometer for success?
It
the money
sounds like
marker?
He's admitting, in a way, he spread himself too thin. 3 years going away, spending too much. He did
being ahead of a studio,
and doing so. He bit off more than he could chew. He admits it here, and make of that what you will. I think we'll end it there. You can watch the whole interview. Links in the description.
The only thing I wanted to say is I agree with Alan that it is absolutely true that the scripts need to be good. That needs to be one metric. But the other one is he is building a universe. He needs to do things in a tactical order, because a mediocre Batman would be more important than an excellent Clayface. Sorry, just when you're setting up your whole universe.
Yes,
100%.
Yes,
100%.
Every single look. I'm just going to use Bo DeMeo for 97 because I got to talk to him and see like what he did and what there's a lot of things he did that like selfishly he wanted to do things differently, but he knew for the strength of the franchise, certain characters needed to be handled a certain way and done in a certain order. That is a selflessness that is needed that I do not believe James has proven why. Why'd you pick Damian? A Robin that would necessitate going 8 to 10 years into Superman's career to fulfill, and his answer is, I just like him.
I just like Damian.
Why'd you pick? I just like him. His answer is, I just like him. Not because it's a good moment for the universe, not because the character fits at this time. And at every moment, he has proven that he is the wrong person to build this universe. And quite frankly, I don't think Superman was too big for him. It was a Superman and Friends. Keep him with Creature Commandos and all that. But I've just yet to see anything that gives me faith that he knows how to build this universe and build it well.
Yeah, I liked when Batman had Dick.
A lot of people did.
Yeah.
We're gonna leave it there real quick before we go to soups. Want to remind people this week is San Diego Comic-Con. We're doing a fan meetup at Urban Coal Fired Pizza Saturday, July 26th at 8 p.m. Look it up. Follow Big Man Comics for details. But there we are. Alan will be there. Gabe Al-Taib, myself, and Gary Beekler, the Nerdrotic, will also be there. And in addition, Film Threat is doing a panel on Thursday. Thursday, actually. Oh my God, so much happening.
Can I give you a dick pic, Alan?
That's a good.
I gotta go full on Badger.
Yeah, is that a good dick pic
There
for you?
you go.
I think we need that.
There you go. Love those dick pics. That's hilarious. And we got it. Yeah, our indie filmmaker survival guide panel is this Thursday, July 24th. If you are at San Diego Comic-Con, come to the Marriott Marquis Grand 6. In the ballroom will be myself, Tim Chismer, Tracy Lehman from Bob Trevino Likes It, our friend Jim Agnew, Jeff Miller, director of Popeye the Slayer Man, and April Wright, director of Stunt Women, The Untold Hollywood Story, giving survival guide tips for indie filmmakers. So that's coming up. For now, let's go to Soups. I'll be back in a second. Why don't you start from the top, Alan, on Soups? And I'll be right back.
All right. Do we get that one? I thought
Press him to start for 2. My dudes.
No,
it's
start at
Comic-Con
the
week.
top. The top.
Yeah,
right
that is
there.
the top.
That is the top. I'll be right back.
Press him to, why are we yelling? Press him to start for 2. Badger, no, it was awesome last year. It was, but I'm actually going to see Fantastic Four that day. Sorry, I'm being punished.
I'm seeing it tonight, but okay.
Lucky.
Lucky me. Yeah,
you get it over with. Gamer Plush for 5. Steph is Sue Storm. Chris is Reed Richards. Alan is The Thing. Badger is Johnny Storm. I'll take it.
Nice.
Why does the girl have to be Sue Storm?
Yeah. Alan really wants to be Sue.
Wants to go
I just want to be invisible.
Yeah. It was awesome meeting you last year, Mr. Badger. Bandger. It was awesome meeting you too, man. Shout out. Napsky for $4.99. Pull up Stephen He on YouTube. He has a new video. If Superman was Asian, freaking hilarious.
I feel like I've seen that. Yeah.
Peter Yannick for 10. I think the original Predator was a dude with a mask, so we are used to big head on most aliens. This new take is interesting.
But it just seemed like it was just the head mask.
It's in the eyes too.
Body.
It's
They're so beady.
Close set. Yeah, he looks a little.
I mean, there was like a full uniform. It had that. This one doesn't.
42 for $5. Flying out of Wednesday for first Comic-Con. It will be great to meet you guys, even if a little light on any furious woodland creatures.
Yeah. Come to the panel Thursday night. We'll meet you there.
Aguilar, member for 26 months. Why so few today? I was hoping for script doctors cope about Superman. Weren't we all? Weren't we all? It's Comic-Con week. People are traveling. 760.63 for 5. After being dissatisfied with Superman, now I have to count on Fantastic Four to bail out my summer. Feels like trying to meet someone at the bar past 12 a.m. Oh, good luck. Good luck. Regis Red for 7. So to affirm Superman as an independent and kind person, we have to change other characters now.
I mean,
It's
we've
a
been doing it
tactic.
for a while. Bring one character down to bring the other up.
The Head for 2. Stop retcons. You wrote a bad story. Now live with it.
Yeah, I don't like it. You can't. I don't like it.
Yeah. Axel's Abode for 5. In the UK, it would be against the law for Superman to release the gray squirrel back into the wild. Yes.
I'll take over, Alan.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Uneven Streets for $4.99. Most comic origins of Superman, his father has minimum impact on Clark that movies added that more than the comics. I think that would be greatly dependent on how many Superman comics you've read, my friend.
Right.
H.I. Dragonstar for 5. This makes Smallville now my true canon. While it had its flaws, it was still a better story than what we get from current Superman.
Yep.
Smallville was great. Himbry Jeremiah, member for 15 months. Did you catch the person who played the cameo in the film and how much respect he had for Christopher Reeve family?
Yes, we saw the cameo.
Scott Jonesy, member for 16 months. Superman needs $740 million to make a profit. It won't. Yeah, well, some might say break even, depending on
break even.
How generous you are. MK Solid for 2. The Predator and a girl boss torso. Gen Z, shake my head. Redux, Zero Redux became a member. Shout out.
Oh, thanks.
Beach Dad, member for 2 months. Alan needs a daddy shirt to walk around Comic-Con.
Capital D Daddy.
Capital D Daddy.
Capital D Daddy.
Daniel Lopez for $4.99. Teenage Predator guys, not fully grown. Hope it's better than the shit 2018 Predator. Super sticker, which I cannot tell what it is, for $10 super sticker. Draconic,
Sweet.
shout out. Lenart, Alan's take, laugh out loud. Perhaps Jor-El is a donut.
Yes, he is. But a Krispy Kreme donut.
Ooh, I like him now. Charlie Thompson really seemed the Baravians were pure evil, antichrist, genocidal, kid targeting Nazis, and the world would be better off without them. Great villains.
Yes. There you go. One last Superman topic.
And then we're done.
And then we're done, and we will never talk about Superman again.
Yeah, don't worry. We'll just talk about Supergirl for the next year.
Superman secrets revealed. This is from Rolling Stone. I believe there are notes for this story, Badger, if you would.
James Gunn's Superman is proving to be a box office success, and the director is celebrating not just the numbers, but the philosophy behind the film. Gunn reiterated that he had set out to create a Superman who could be beaten, one who takes his knocks but keeps standing up, a stark contrast to the invincible, godlike portrayals of the past. Gunn emphasized that the emotional core of the movie is captured in Superman's assertion. Maybe that's the real punk rock, a line Gunn says was baked into his first draft. I do think that's the point of the film, of the movie, Gunn said, framing Kal-El's journey not as one of destiny, but personal choice rooted in kindness and self-determination. This punk rock ethos carries through to the soundtrack, notably the film's end-credit song Punk Rocker by the Teddy Bears featuring Iggy Pop, a track Gunn discovered via random Spotify recommendation. Gunn shared that director Jason Reitman, upon an early viewing of the film, immediately called it one of my favorite songs in the world, affirming its inclusion. The movie also has fun with the details, like fictional band The Mighty Crabjoys, whose poster hangs in Clark Kent's childhood bedroom. Gunn not only imagined the band, but co-wrote their end credit song with Eric Nally of Foxy Shazam. I literally wrote that song and sang it into my phone the first thing in the morning, Gunn revealed, adding that his godson and his co-CEO Peter Safran's daughter appears on the poster as a band member. Gunn was candid about fan questions like, why Supergirl didn't explain more about Krypton. You're assuming that everybody on Krypton is the same.
Yeah.
And how would she know? She's younger than him. No, she's fucking not, at least not according to most lore. So he clearly has changed it. He also clarifies that the imp seen in the movie was not Mr. McSpittalick, but just a stupid basic imp. Sorry.
See? It wasn't Mr. McSpittalick.
It wasn't. What? And that while Supergirl and Krypto's connection stems from Supergirl One of Tomorrow comic, his take maintains Krypto as Superman's dog despite some creative crossover. The film's portrayal of Jor-El and Lara as cold and elitist has stirred some discussion, but Gunn stands firm. They're shit out of luck if fans are hoping for a twist reveal, he explained. It's like taking accountability in the deepest way possible, that his morality is not based on some figure outside of himself, but on his own choices. Gunn also addressed the film's brisk pacing, noting his personal style leans fast. I'm not indulgent. I just don't give a shit about my little precious moments that are so important to me in making a movie. Looking ahead, Gunn hinted at the unexpected nature of the next DCU installment, acknowledging that audience enthusiasm for characters like Mr. Terrific and Krypto hasn't gone unnoticed. On the global front, Gunn admitted that anti-American sentiment and Superman's lesser-known status internationally present challenges, but he's encouraged by positive word of mouth. This is just the seed of the tree that Peter and I have been watering for the past 3 years. As for Wonder Woman and Batman's future in the DCU, Gunn confirmed those characters are high priorities. We really need Wonder Woman and we really need Batman because they're so important to us. And for fans awaiting oddball entries, Gunn joked about an HBO Batmite show costing $150 million per episode, a tongue-in-cheek nod to the playfully creativity he's brought back to superhero storytelling.
Well, I'll just say this. He did talk about Batmite in that Grave Conversations. Steph, I don't know if you saw that interview with James Gunn being interviewed in a coffin. It was actually very funny.
Oh, no, I didn't.
It was good. He talks about Batmite and being obsessed with Batmite.
Did you see the details on the Jimmy Olsen television show?
I did not.
A crime anthology following different DC villains, hosted by, I'm assuming this is like an Elvira type thing, hosted by Jimmy Olsen. Culture Crave.
Is that like
Is
it a cartoon or the actor Skylar? What's his name? I thought he was very good. I thought
a lot of people did.
I liked him as Jimmy Olsen, but that does sound kind of odd.
Yeah,
I loved this article and everything that James Gunn said about the movie, because the whole time I'm watching it and then hearing everybody talking about it, in my mind I'm thinking it's not that deep. Like, what you see is what you get. He wrote what he wanted to write. It's not that deep, and he's just confirming, like
we
everything
often,
I wrote.
because we read all the comics, we think, oh, it's this and this and this and this and this. Oh, Alan, we did this with WandaVision, where everyone thought Mephisto was going to show up, and then the showrunner said, "Who's Mephisto?"
Yeah,
yeah, it's a little. I mean, look, I just don't think we'll be talking about Superman, a year from now or what. I mean, I just don't think the movie is not gonna age well. That's all
I'm already seeing it. I'm already starting to see people on the certain subreddits that I monitor just to get their views, like the super gun lovers. I really like the movie, but was anyone else a little underwhelmed when all he did was fly up and then fall back down? I thought he was gonna and then one person says it, and then everyone else has permission. It's gonna age like Force Awakens. People were just happy to have Superman back.
Absolutely. The more you think about it, and I said the more you think about the film, like I left the movie, I was like, okay, that was good. And then on my drive home, the more you think about it, the less you're like, well, actually, it's not really that good, because you start putting pieces together and realizing, there's a lot of holes in this. There's a lot of things that happen that I just don't like. I disagree with. The more you think about it, the more you do not like the movie.
It has. This is why I'm baffled that Fantastic Four was casted with no chemistry screens, because Tess, say what you want about James Gunn, the casting is almost perfect, and everyone has chemistry together. They just I thought needed a tighter script and better scenes. Fantastic Four is going to have none of that. So, oof.
Well, according to current buzz, this is the greatest movie ever made. So,
is he Reed Richards?
The visual effects are amazing.
Reed Richards.
Everybody's excited about the visual effects.
We'll get to it, and that's probably the last time we'll ever discuss James Gunn's Superman
until Supergirl comes up.
Until Supergirl
comes up.
We'll bring it all back.
Hey, Marvel is not going to be at San Diego Comic-Con, and ahead of the con, Kevin Feige spoke to Variety, and basically everything he would have presented at Comic-Con in San Diego with a great amount of fanfare, he's done in an article in Variety. I don't know if you have the notes there,
I do.
Badger, but let's talk about what he discusses in this. It's a lot.
Feige revealed that the Marvel Cinematic Universe's roadmap is planned out through 2032. But he also acknowledged that the studio has learned from recent missteps. Reflecting on the post-in-game years, Feige admitted Marvel has overextended itself, producing well over 100 hours of stories in just 6 years.
Twice and yet we're planned out until 2032.
2032. Twice the output from the entire Infinity Saga. For the first time ever, quantity trumped quality, he said. Feige attributed audience fatigue not to superheroes themselves, noting the success of James Gunn's Superman, but to overwhelming volume. It's clearly not superhero fatigue, right? Feige shared candid reflections on how Marvel is now scaling back, limiting feature films to 3 per year and reducing TV output to often just a single live-action show per year. The goal is to avoid confusing audiences who feel they need to watch everything to stay informed. Citing the lukewarm box office for Thunderbolts despite good reviews, Feige explained, some audiences were still feeling that notion of, I guess I had to have seen these other shows. Feige also confirmed that Avengers Secret Wars in 2027 will serve as a reset for the MCU, including recasting the X-Men while teasing plans for character returns, even if he remained coy about specifics. Feige defended Marvel's often criticized flexible filmmaking approach, known for reworking scripts during production. Flexible filmmaking approach. Love that. I wouldn't want to change that, Feige said, emphasizing the value of actor input on set. As for James Gunn's DC strategy of locking down scripts early, Feige pushed back, stating, "We've never started a movie with..." I can't. This is a full lie what I'm about to say. No, this is a full lie what I'm about to say. We've never started a movie without a full script, and I have never been satisfied with the script that we've had.
It's true, though. I mean, Iron Man is the great example of that.
That's right. He confirmed Robert Downey Jr. will return to the MCU, not as Iron Man, but as Doctor Doom in Avengers Doomsday. A pivot Marvel started considering even before Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, amid growing doubts about Kang's viability as a central villain. We started talking about Doctor Doom even before we officially pivoted from Kang, Feige admitted. On the creative side, Feige teased Marvel's long-gestating Fantastic Four reboot as a no-homework-required movie, confirmed that the original cast from the infamous 1994 Fantastic Four movie will cameo. Oh,
that
Chris.
is cool.
Wow.
I didn't know that.
No way,
That's
that
awesome.
gets cut out. Kevin Feige also reaffirmed Marvel's ongoing commitment to diversity and representation, despite industry backlash and political discourse around so-called woke content. Since Black Panther's groundbreaking success in 2018, Marvel has deliberately expanded its focus on projects led by women, people of color, and LGBTQ characters. While some of these titles have struggled critically or commercially, Feige remains steadfast. Marvel represents the world outside your window, he said. I've always said it, before DEI and woke became a thing, and after DEI and woke became a thing. Are we after? I don't think so. Ultimately, Feige positioned diversity not as a fleeting trend, but as a natural reflection of the real world, woven into Marvel's storytelling DNA. Despite scaling back production overall, he reassured that characters introduced after Endgame, many of whom come from underrepresented backgrounds, will have roles to play in the MCU's next chapter. That is part of the plan. Characters we've introduced post-Endgame will pop up again in some of the upcoming movies and beyond.
So how does everyone feel about James Gunn now?
All I can say, it's funny that they both have interviews out, right around the same time, and they're kind of sparring, not directly, but they're sparring in a way. I have something fun to share with you. This is a photo of, well, I'll just show you. It's a photo of me on the set of the Corman Fantastic Four. Here I am with the cast: Jay Underwood, Rebecca Stabb, Alex Hyde White, in their tidy. That's Carlo. I forget his last name. The guy who played the Thing. That's me with the cast of the '94 Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I just reviewed it for a Film Thread as well.
Yeah, that's great. So,
unironically better costumes.
There you go. We'll be covering a lot of FF this week, obviously. Thoughts on Feige's comments here?
Yeah, he has not learned any lessons from the past few years.
Yeah, I don't think so.
He does not understand why Marvel is failing, and he's leaning into the wrong things. He thinks the fact that he thinks DEI is something that we need to keep doing specifically tells you he didn't learn any lessons. And X-Men is screwed.
Hot take now.
Yeah.
Maybe Feige is a bit of a charlatan who is not as big of a comic book fan as we all thought. From the beginning had these intentions when he said soon we'll have more female heroes than males. And it was only because of the Robert Downey Jr.'s and the Jon Favreau's and the other strong creative choices. So I'll give him credit for that. But once it was truly, everything said Kevin Feige Productions afterward, that's when it all started going downhill, because he's the common denominator in all of this.
Yeah. It started going downhill. Yeah. After all of that, and Kevin Feige took over and started making decisions, for sure. The fact that he hasn't learned anything is wild. And they're doubling down on DEI, making sure it's Marvel represents everyone you see outside your window. when like, okay, that's fine. You can put these characters that aren't really popular and give them bad scripts while in turn attacking fans who did not like them. It's just a mix of terrible things at Marvel. And he's just like, nah, we're fine. Everything's good. We're just going to keep it because that's how we like it that way. I can't believe he's like that.
My checks aren't bouncing, so we're good.
Well, and we can't blame the poor creatives that we like, you know, the Nia DaCostas, who I'm not saying she's the greatest, but she certainly came into a movie mostly filmed already. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not doing them any favors, and you can't blame them anymore. It's all this.
Well, she needed more executives hanging around.
More white men in suits.
We'll get to your super chats, but we have a couple more stories here. The Fantastic Four First Steps is the best movie ever.
Wow.
Alan and I will do an
take that, Citizen Kane.
Yeah. Alan and I are doing an out of the theater review. We'll post that tonight. Tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific time, our review of Fantastic Four. We'll do Hollywood on the Rocks, and we'll give you our review. I'm looking forward to it. But why don't we take a look at this? This is from, let's see. This is from Thomas Connors Jr. He is a YouTuber, and he posted. Let's take a look at this right here. Let's watch it.
Fantastic Four. The critics are raving. Fantastic Four is the best Marvel movie since the last Marvel movie since the last Marvel movie.
Whatever life throws at us, we'll face it together.
No, don't stop. Bring tissue.
Are you the protectors of this world?
This might be fake.
Your planet
Sounds real to me.
for death.
Katie on X says, bring tissues, but not because you're going to cry. It says, it beats you off and doesn't stop.
Is that real?
That is the real one.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Pedro brings it home in the Fantastic Four.
I'm not sure about this. All right. I think we get the. I think we get the joke here. We get the joke. We'll give you our honest review. I mean, we will give you our honest review. I just hope, upon watching the film, we feel the same way as this sippy cup.
Oh yeah.
If the sippy cup, if we get that kind of reaction, that would be amazing.
You know, I'm going to drink milk out of that cup.
Get him some milk. You're going to need it after that film.
You could put hand lotion in that cup too.
Keep it next to your bed.
You could put a lot of things
dry.
in that cup. Put a lot of things in that cup.
Pedro's popular for a reason, guys. That's all I'm saying.
The hype around Fantastic Four and all the critics just raving about it is expected at this point. It's just expected. Like they raved about Snow White, and I'm just like, no, it's expected, and I don't take anything that they say seriously. I'll either watch a special copy of Fantastic Four or go see it at the theater and make my own decision because I can't listen to them. They hype everything and say everything is incredible, and I'm just like I can't take them seriously anymore. Well, everybody uses the same adjectives when they love something.
Yeah, well, this thing that you shared privately, this guy Frick You, Fantastic Four is a masterpiece. The visual effects and the score are a huge standout. Galactus is huge in IMAX. It's emotional and gives you hope. It beats you off and doesn't stop. Stays until the end credits. What's so funny is it sounds real, and I know it's not.
No, I think that is real. He did not.
Real.
He didn't mean to say it that way. I don't think, and that's because everyone was sharing it. I saw Drinker share it, like when your review goes viral for the wrong reasons. That might actually make me watch it.
Everybody's
that happened to me with the Marvels.
I'm calling it the Faptastic Four now after that review.
Oh, that's good.
Here's the thing is, if Fantastic Four is the best movie ever, then why is Marvel releasing the worst scenes from the movie?
Because they think it's good.
They don't want to spoil it, Alan.
Hey, one last item, and we'll go to Soups.
What?
Breaking news: Brad Pitt farts. This is real.
No, that's like saying
This
Jesus
is real.
farts.
Okay, this is real.
I thought he was like Kim Jong-un, where he didn't have a butthole because it just perfect system.
Well, this is from an interview. Let's just take a look. I haven't seen this. But this is we've been holding this news item in for a long time.
Oh, it's gonna be a stinker.
And I think F1 is probably one of the best movies this year I've seen in theaters, hands down. And it's really not groundbreaking. It's very, by the numbers. And I miss that kind of movie. Let's hear what he has to say in this interview.
We're doing this little independent film. We're shooting this little tiny cafe. It's full of the crew. So there's about 60 people in there. It's hot. You can't breathe. And my character hadn't eaten for days, and he gets his big plate of beans. First plate of beans and bacon. And I was all like, method. I was like, I'm gonna do this right. I'm gonna, and I just powered down this plate of beans. Take 2, do the same thing. Take 3, I do the same thing. Take 4, I do the same thing.
Oh no.
Something hit me.
Oh, I know exactly what hit you.
It was
we all
true
know what hit you.
And there was nothing I could do. I was stuck in this chair, and nature took its course. And then there was nothing. I went, oh, great. I got away with that one. And then suddenly the entire crew, the most diabolical something descended on the crew in the whole room, and they fled the cafe. Fled.
I know.
So,
poor bastard. Hey,
confession you've heard first, right here.
Hey, that's great.
And ever since then, I paced myself.
Beans to do it to you, baby. That's right. You should be proud. Hey, you clear a room. That is from an offensive lineman. You already know that's a badge of honor.
There you go. Well, nice to have a sense of humor about that. I think that's pretty great.
He always eats in his scenes. He's always eating.
Yeah.
No matter the movie.
Yeah.
It's
Ocean's
like,
11.
Isn't Ryan Gosling have a thing where he eats cereal?
Well, and I've heard that Robert Downey Jr. will hide food on set. Like when
I
in
saw
the
that
Avengers
too.
movie, when he offers like he had hid that. He's just eating blueberries.
Well, they do for actors. It's called doing business. It's dumb to stand there and just say your lines. A lot of times, actors give an actor a cup or something they can act with, or give them a little piece of business while they're doing something.
Yeah, do something. Yeah,
that's what made that scene in Superman when Lois and Clark are, Lois is interviewing Clark. It doesn't feel the camera is moving different places. They're doing certain business. It's not two people talking, just sitting there. So that's funny.
He's making breakfast
for dinner.
Yeah.
For dinner.
But I guess it maybe shows he's not good in a relationship because he said, it's your favorite thing. She goes, it's your favorite meal.
I know.
Who doesn't like breakfast for dinner?
Let's go to Soups here.
Dyrus 3142 for 5. Gunn's writing of Jor-El is the woke messaging. It's a very small pill that is being swallowed. Snuff the past. Your parents don't matter. Oh,
I agree with that. There's something nefarious about birth parents. No, there's something nefarious about birth parents being evil.
Yeah,
it's come up too often in modern storytelling.
The state is your adoptive parent, and they're correct.
Your chosen
family.
family.
No, it's reject your birth family. It's your found family that really matters. Because there's a really big focus on found family. These are my found family. These are the people that came into my life and they accept me for who I am.
It's a cult. Confirmed.
Yeah, but in the case of Clark, though, it was his birth. It was his parents. It was his mom, Pa Kent. It's not, that's his family. It's not the state. It's not a group he joined. It was the two people who raised him as a child. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing nefarious about that.
It feels a little nefarious, but I know what you're
Yeah,
saying.
it's
Just a little.
Sometimes it's your biological parents doing the same thing.
Here we go. A follow up.
My thing is like, why couldn't it be both? I didn't like that he wrote
Because
it
it's
like
Superman. He was.
that.
Lynn Art for 65. To add context to my previous comment, Jor-El and Superman should look like a giant green donut. Marlon Brando.
There you go.
Nelson for 2. So is this the gayest Marvel movie ever?
I think Alan should read this comment.
No, that was the Marvels. Is this the gayest Marvel movie ever?
The marketing is all those interviews.
You guys need to tell us if that supposed plot point of Mr. Terrific and the Thing having hooked up before is real.
Yeah.
Be great.
What about
yeah. AL42 for $4.99. That Mr. Fantastic sippy cup brings new meaning to the phrase bottoms up.
Exactly.
Good to the last drop.
Exactly.
Ew.
So that's going to end it for us today. We're ending a little early. Alan and I have to get to a screening of the Fantastic Four First Steps tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Pacific time. We will do our review live. We may or may not go live tonight. We may or may not. It depends.
How bad it is.
Probably won't.
I think
But-
if we have something to say.
We'll do an out of the. We'll see.
Yeah.
Just put your notifications on, and
Like if we're gonna do an 11 o'clock stream and then wake up 8 hours later to do
we might as well just do.
stream.
All right, fine. We'll figure it out. But I want to say thanks to Armand, Lord Thoth, MK Solid, plus Atomic Lori and Glenuccio. And why don't you guys plug your channels?
My Nerdy Home on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, pretty much everywhere. You can catch me there. I'll probably do videos later on.
Sweet. And wait, happy birthday, Badger.
Happy birthday.
That's gonna be an hour from now, but on my channel, Birthday Badgercast. Birthday Badgercast. So I'm turning 35 for the 5th time. Yeah, I'm gonna be 40. The big 40.
Sweet. And we will link to Badgercast, which starts in about an hour. Alan and I will be back tomorrow. It's gonna be a wild one, that's for sure.
I hope you guys like it.
Alan, are you ready?
Yeah, I want to like this one. I mean, honestly, I'm just driving a long
Well,
distance.
we will give you our honest
Are
opinion.
you gonna get the popcorn bucket? The Galactus head?
Oh, gosh.
For $85? No, I don't think I'm doing it.
Ooh, get me a Pedro booty bucket.
Pedro sippy cup?
Booty
Come on,
bucket.
no, I want that booty bucket.
All right, take care, everyone. Alan?
Let's get out of here.